I set myself as a time traveler back to like the year 1800, and I said, have me walk around to asking people where the nearest Fuddruckers was. And all right, welcome back everybody to another wonderful episode of Banter on the Rocks. Got myself Tim here today, as well as John, of course. And first order of business, before we move on here to episode 58, we want to stop and talk about our brand ambassadorship with Find the Good brand. And Find the Good is focused on the good and building a community of people who want to help find that good. For all purchases, Find the Good gives back 10% to Mental Health of America organization. And when you order, be sure to use promo code BANTER805 and you'll receive 10% off of your purchase. So that's 10% for you and 10% back to mental health. Remember to use BANTER805 for that 10%. And the mission for Find the Good is simple. Find the Good is here to get you through the bad days, the breakups, the ups and downs, and whatever else stands between you and a smile on your face. And today is Monday, October 6th. And on today's show, we will discuss our banter takes, of course. Moving on to MLB postseason, which is well underway. And of course, some NFL talk and much, much more. Now, to get us started here with our banter drinks of the week, I am having a high noon today.
Nice.
I guess maybe some low cal. It's better than, I'm sure a little less fattening than beer. Trying to get in Hawaii shape here, John.
Yeah,
Get ready for that. Can be a struggle at times, but hey, every little thing counts.
it
So,
does.
here we go. And it's good though. It's really tasty. I think I'm having watermelon
Watermelon? Okay.
flavor. Mhm.
All right. I haven't had too many high noons, but I know they're pretty good. I think the grapefruit one is one I liked.
Yep.
That's one I've had. I think I've had, what is it, black cherry or something?
Yeah, and then there's
Yeah.
passion fruit and then
Passion
I
fruit.
believe mango. I got the variety pack. So there's like four
Okay.
different flavors. Started off with
Nice.
watermelon.
Okay. Cool. No, I'm sticking to what I've been doing the last few weeks. My Jack and Coke. Just been, get so busy to go out and buy anything with the
Yep.
kid, taking him out. So sticking with Jack and Coke today. So hopefully next week I'll try to do something different. I'll see if I can make a pit stop somewhere and buy something.
Yeah,
Even the gas station, liquor store, they always
there
sell
you go.
something there.
Yeah, even like one of those little shot things, you know.
Yeah,
But no shame was sticking with the classics
yeah. But yeah, those are our banter drinks of the week. And if there's any, ever anybody that knows any good drinks, new brands out, let us know. We're willing to go try it out, check it out, and give you our honest reviews and thoughts about it.
for sure.
So we'll get started. As always, we go on TikTok live um, on our recording day. So if you want to join us in the moment, watch us live, listen to us, and banter with us, please join us on TikTok live. But we're gonna head into our banter takes right now. And our banter takes are takes that we give each other. We haven't seen these takes prior. And we're gonna defend them like they're our own. So whatever Tim sends me, it's what I will sort of defend, and chat about what I send Tim. He'll do the same. And like I said, with some of these takes, they're sometimes outrageous. Some of them are very bold, some of them are very accurate, and sometimes we're just here to stir the pot, maybe, trigger a few of you followers, commenters that we get all the time. Um, I know, we'll talk about it maybe during our NFL segment, but Chiefs losing, that's a great
Hey,
banter take
sorry
every
guys.
now and then. But that's always the goal. It's just to have fun, trigger, and join into those takes. So, um, inviting Tim on the TikTok, and then
There you go.
I think I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. So my first take for today. Bad Bunny is the right choice for the Super Bowl halftime show, and the charts prove it. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week of Bad Bunny being the Super Bowl halftime performer. and we were all on board for it. We think he's a great artist, and I've seen a lot of other people recently showing, I think like Spotify numbers or whatever streaming service that they use, and Bad Bunny isn't the top 10, you know. A lot of those other artists in the top 10 might have been asked before. Some of them have already done it, but I think it's a great choice. A lot of people know his music. His music is being streamed not just here in the States, but worldwide. And I th I think anybody that really has a problem with it, it's like if it's not your cup of tea, if it's not your music, during that halftime show, take a break. Go use the restroom, go do something else, you
Mhm.
know, switch to a different channel. You know, who knows? You know, maybe the Puppy Bowl halftime show might be better this year.
Hey,
Who knows what could be better, but it's like this was the decision. I think it's totally fine. Um, like I say, I'm still curious if our if the take I think you had or that or it wasn't a take something we discussed last week, the with Apple being like the main sponsor of the halftime show, if they're gonna do the new Apple AirPod Pros and sort of show the translation services, give it to some people. And if that's the case, that's the case. I think that's awesome. I think that's gonna get people stoked. And if it really works, just disclaimer for people that might be going, and if they do get that, some of these songs are very inappropriate. We'll see which songs he does play. Uh, good because I think that's something that would be interesting to think about. Like they're always censoring. You have to censor the music in the show because it's national television. Everybody's watching, up to kids. But when it comes to Spanish lyrics, are they going to censor it the same way they do with English lyrics?
it's a great question. And how much of those, I mean, like you said, Bad Bunny has, quite a few vulgar things to say in some of his songs. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm curious to see how they do it. And, just imagine wearing like those those or wearing the AirPod
Yeah.
pros and then having it translated directly with no censors. That'd be hilarious. Everybody's gonna be
Uh,
cracking up. And yeah, hey, it's a good way to learn his songs regardless. If you don't
hmm.
speak any Spanish, getting it lively translated. Hopefully that's something that they actually do. Like
Yeah.
we said, perfect spot right here in Silicon Valley. So
Hmm.
it's definitely a vibe. And with this topic, Bad Bunny SNL this past weekend,
Hmm.
mentioned it in his opening monologue. Obviously he's heard everybody, talk about it and, everything that's being discussed. And I feel like he was, did a great job making a joke out of it, bringing
Hmm.
Juan Hamon
Juan
into it
Hamon.
as well. He's actually, John Hamm was
Yeah.
in the audience and, catching a vibe and clearly catching a vibe at one of his concerts in
Hmm.
Puerto Rico. I thought that was awesome. Obviously Bad Bunny, he's been on SNL a few times. He was in,
Hmm.
the most recent Happy Gilmore. This guy does quite a few different things.
Yeah.
He's not a one-trick pony. I thought he did a phenomenal job acting. His
Hmm.
music is obviously always popping. I just think it's a good vibe overall. I've been downright shocked actually at like how much pushback there's been. And I understand, I think last week, I made the joke about like, sorry, it's not ACDC
Yeah.
coming on. Anybody would be cool. It's just, it's something different. We've had,
Hmm.
a few, recent years of, hip hop style music when it was
Yeah.
in LA, and then, Kendrick last year, which was a phenomenal performance as well. Um, but this just brings, a different, genre to it
Hmm.
altogether. And I think it's awesome. And then you mentioned the charts. A lot of folks, mentioned, people like Morgan Wallen or, country
Hmm.
and, the NFL hates country or something like that. And, I think that's completely untrue.
Yeah.
Eventually there's going to be, another country singer, as a Super Bowl halftime performance. They,
Hmm.
Sunday Night Football uses country, a lot of times. Didn't Carrie Underwood have that song
Hmm.
for Sunday Night Football for years?
And she still has it, I think,
He
right?
still has it. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
she remixed it. It's
Yeah.
just it's still relevant. There's no
Hmm.
hate there. It's just, you can't always get what you want. And like you said, if you want to go turn to something, what do you mention? The Puppy Bowl.
Yeah.
You could even just go back and rewatch, I don't know, like other
Yeah.
previous
Yeah. YouTube.
performances and act like it's this year. I don't
Yeah.
know. Put in the VHS tape and, watch Michael Jackson's Rose Bowl
Hmm.
halftime Super Bowl, which was a great performance too.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's awesome. It's in California. Obviously, California brings out the culture, and the cultural vibes, and it's awesome. But yeah, no, for sure, I'm going to be glued
Yeah.
into that halftime show. I think it's going to be killer.
Yeah. And you made the point, like, it's the most popular song, like Morgan Wallen. Like, if it was Morgan Wallen, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't be like, oh, we all hate country. It's sort of
Hmm.
like if that wasn't my cup of tea, I would tune out for the halftime show.
Hmm.
I might have it on the background, but I wouldn't be watching it in anticipation the way I have some of these other ones. Some of them I've been interested in, some of them I haven't.
Hmm.
So it's sort of like if you guys don't like it, just don't check it out. And like I say, we have to look at it. And we've always tried to stay away from it, and I think we've done really well. But don't look at this as a political statement. Look at this as an entertainment statement,
Hmm.
and also NFL Super Bowl. It's about making money. What do you do as a business to make money? You're gonna put whoever's gonna bring the most eyes at that halftime show because that's how you're gonna get a lot. You're gonna get that money, and Bad Bunny is that guy. Chris Stapleton, you know, Morgan Wallen, Shania Twain, you might not get much. I think the only other big star that would have gotten as much attention as Bad Bunny is gonna get attention, it's Taylor Swift. And from the sounds of it, she denied it. She rejected wanting to be a part of it. So if that's the case, that's the case. But it just, yeah, it baffles me. People talking like, oh, it's not a smart move. It's like it is a smart move. It's just you guys aren't happy with it.
Hmm.
When I recently saw it, and I like the Nelk Boys, they're against it. I don't know if you've seen the clip of them. There's like,
Not with them, no.
they're like, I don't like Bad Bunny. I think it was a dumb choice. There's a
Hmm.
lot of better people, and he pretty much says why he doesn't want it. It's because I don't like Bad Bunny's music, which is totally fine. Not many
Hmm.
people like Bad Bunny's music, but a majority of people, a higher percentage than of those that don't like it, love his music and are gonna watch it, and that's what they're trying to get the attention of. So it's sort of like you guys could talk about it all you want, but in the end, I think it's the smartest choice. I think it's gonna do well. Like I say, if I'm hearing rumors of sponsorships probably dropping out because of it, I don't think NFL cares because there's gonna be someone that's gonna step in and be like, I know I'm gonna make money off of this, paying millions to sponsor. I'm gonna do it.
For sure. Yeah. And maybe with the Nelk Boys, they, wanted, a Canadian to
Hmm.
perform, like Michael Bublé. I don't know.
Michael
Big
Bublé.
Michael, which would have been a vibe too, just
Would have
catchy
been
holiday
interesting.
songs in
Yeah.
February would have been great. Um, no, shout out Michael Bublé. He's
Uh,
great, great, great singer. But yeah, everybody has a right to an opinion. Don't
mhm.
don't get us wrong. But at the same time, it's like you don't have to make everything political. Just like you
Yeah.
said, it's strictly entertainment, and that's exactly what it's there for. So yeah, I hope I hope it's a performance with, a lot of theatrics. I'm sure
Mhm.
that's certainly going to be there. I'm curious to see what the background's going to be to it. And then we mentioned collabs, like, there's
Yeah.
collab possibilities. Even in our video this past week, John, we had some folks that were like, yeah, Drake would be awesome, and then others were saying Drake, not so
Yeah.
fast, don't prefer him. But again, collab or not, it's like as long as we're getting Bad Bunny, I think it's going to be a
Mhm.
vibe. So.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Taylor Swift. And honestly, she just probably knows. Like Travis is probably telling her behind the scenes, like, no, we're gonna settle down this off
Mhm.
season. We're not
Yeah.
that good. We're gonna, take a break. So don't expect us there, and don't perform. It's okay. We don't want to be
Yeah.
involved when we're not there. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they're sort of their trajectory doesn't look like it's gonna be ending in San Francisco. So,
Yeah.
it's probably why. I heard other rumors, she was asking for a few things that the NFL didn't want to sort of give into. I
Oh,
don't know how accurate those rumors are. It's something I'm curious to see if it gets out, if it was true that she wanted, X amount of money. Someone said like if she wanted to rename, the stadium to something like 13, like they should have like given in. And it's like, well, then you're sort of giving people the power to make decisions when it's like, no, like this is if you want to participate, we, invite you. It's up to you to say yes or no. We're not going to give you more or less, we'll give you the money to make your stage and all that, but
Hmm.
so I'm curious how much of it was true.
Yeah, another rumor was she wanted the full-time show, not the halftime
Oh.
show. She wanted it to be double the length of the Super Bowl. No, I'm just
uh,
totally kidding. Unbelievable. Because what we
imagine.
both went to her concerts.
Yeah,
It was 3, 4 hours, right? I
three,
mean, it
four
was a
hours.
super long
Hmm.
time.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
yeah.
Full-time show and then just sneak in a football game in between somewhere.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think it'd be interesting. Yeah, you could
Uh,
probably do a nice little football game between half a show in the middle of a show,
yeah.
cut it to
She's
5 minute
singing.
quarters, something like that.
Hey, there you go. Yeah,
Uh,
be a total vibe. Yeah, and then maybe I'm curious what she would have asked for, like as far as again, theatrics. Like what kind of stuff would she have
hmm.
wanted? And it's like, the setup and the breakdown of those things,
Yeah.
is it a possibility at Levi's?
Hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to look more into that because I didn't see that, what her baseline was. Obviously, money's going to be involved.
Hmm.
But yeah, but honestly, like I said, it's Travis telling her like, nah, we're not going to be there. Don't
Yeah.
don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is. Apple Music, Jay-Z, Rock Nation, I think he's the one that produces it right now. They're
Oh,
they're about getting the most views and the last, since they've been doing it and Apple started in 2023, Jay-Z's been overseeing setting up this, let me see, since 2020. So if you
okay.
look at Jay-Z's record, Shakira with J-Lo, that one I don't think many people were interested in, but didn't hear much backlash.
Hmm.
The Weeknd, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah,
The one at SoFi, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J, Kendrick, that was
phenomenal.
fire.
Yep.
Rihanna, that was a good one too. You
Hmm.
know, little the baby bump surprise.
Yep.
Uh, 2024, Usher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
In
remember
Vegas.
that one. Yep.
Hmm.
Then 25, Kendrick, and now Bad Bunny. These are all people that are probably like top 10 to 15 on Spotify Music, you know.
Hmm.
And then you go to the 10 years before that, nothing against these bands, but Maroon 5, like they're not even relevant as much anymore,
Nah.
you know. Justin Timberlake, he's going through his own stuff.
Hmm.
Lady Gaga, that could have been another option, she's always big.
Oh yeah.
Um, Coldplay, like I said, I think Coldplay after their little debacle, I'm surprised they didn't get chosen. I think they could have done a lot of great comedy out of it.
They could have. They didn't capitalize on that scenario though.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah,
problem.
yeah. Then Katy Perry, Bruno Mars, big hits, Beyonce.
Katy Perry's preparing for another space mission, so
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
can't do that.
she's too busy.
Nope.
Madonna, Black Eyed Peas, The Who, 2010. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's always a mixture of people. Um, I am nothing against it. It's funny seeing some of these people complaining about it, unhappy with the decision, but I'm like, I think they're doing a great halftime show, and it's gonna be close to probably one of the most watched halftime shows in recent history.
No doubt. Levi holds it down.
Mhm.
Levi's holds it down with Bruno Mars being the previous performance there, right? So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, phenomenal. I mean, that was another good one. I wonder if they explored that option. Bruno would have for sure said yes. He's like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I owe some dollars still. So,
Yeah, no. He would have been good. He might have gambled half of it, away immediately, but
yeah,
he
right.
hey, he could have made it all back and been like, F you Vegas, I'm out of here, or I'm here
Yeah.
for another 10 years.
I'm free. Yeah. No more shows in Vegas.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's my take. Bad Bunny, I think is the right choice.
Mhm.
Let us know what you guys think, hate it or love it. You know, give us your thoughts.
All right. With the high success of K-pop Demon Hunters, the not so great box office weekend for Smashing Machine, it shows that big movie executives don't always know what is good and bad and what will be successful. Yes, K-pop Demon Hunters, ton of success on Netflix, correct?
Yep.
Where they kind of sold it for a super small amount, and I think Netflix gained that money back within like a week or two because it's
hmm
just been streamed in insane amount.
Yeah.
In the main song that's played in K-pop Demon Hunters, my kiddos love it. They really loved the show in general.
hmm
And speaking of which, it's so popular that I was at taking the kiddos to the park the other day, and in the distance at I think somebody's maybe house, it sounded like an orchestra of children just repeatedly singing that song over and over again, and it was like
That's crazy.
it's everywhere.
It
So
is.
it's highly popular, and it's awesome to see. And then you bring up the topic here of Smashing Pumpkins didn't live up to the hype that kind of installed with the 15 minute standing ovation
hmm
for The Rock, and this was a big kind of a change of a role for The
hmm
Rock, being a little bit more of a serious side, but just really didn't open that way. And I think that like this take says, there's not a whole lot of what these executives they're never 100%. They can't read the society like a book. They don't know what's
hmm
going to be the next popular thing at all times. And lately it just kind of seems like a swing and a miss where um I even saw, I think, a prank video of it today where somebody was, I guess, going on the phone acting like they're prank calling a movie executive,
Uh,
pitching an idea of a terrible sounding movie. You might have sent it to me, John. Did you send it to me or did I scroll
yeah,
across
I
this?
don't know if I
I
did.
should have sent it to you because it
I've
was
sent you a
hilarious.
lot of stuff.
Yeah,
So
I know. We're always exchanging them,
yeah.
but it was funny because it was supposed to be a total prank video, but then the movie executive was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, sounds great. Who's going to play the lead role?" And then he would, he's like, "Oh, I don't know, like, some famous, girl, and
hmm
she's going to do this and that." And it was obviously, playing out like a
Prank.
prank, but the executive was like, "Ah, this is great. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fantastic idea, and let's roll with it. Keep it going. You have my contact. Let's roll from there." And then he obviously it's a parody video, but I think it's just making a mockery of there's
hmm
not always a ton of success that
Yeah.
installs there. And then with that, I don't know if this is going to be the sign of a trend, maybe a different of a trend where, Taylor Swift, for example, released, like a album
hmm
opening movie, right?
Oh,
Or
I saw
something
that.
that
Yeah.
released in theaters, and it did really well. I think it eclipsed like 90 million at the box office
hmm
opening weekend, and
Oh wow.
sometimes I guess you just kind of got to go with trends.
hmm
And, if something is really trending, especially if it has catchy music involved, like K-pop Demon Hunters, that might be the route. And maybe movie theaters will kind of go with stuff like that a little bit more often. Um, just to
hmm
kind of hop on that. In again, like hot takes, for example, that we discuss, it's circulated a lot about trends. It could be,
Yeah.
random ideas that pop in too, but um, you know, it's sometimes just the way that you got to go, and not everybody's always going to be 100%. But shout out K-pop Demon Hunters, great
Yeah.
stuff. Weren't they on SNL this past weekend
Yeah.
too? They had a
Yeah.
great skit in there, just bringing out the vocals. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's what sort of prompted me for this, and then sort of reading a little bit about the Smashing Machine not only making, I think it was like 6 million around there opening weekend, which
Mhm.
it's a tough one for a movie that a lot of people, because of these film festivals saying it was going to be a big hit. It just shows, like you say, it's about trends, it's about what's popular, but it's also executives don't know it's going to be good because Sony, didn't believe in K-pop Demon Hunters. I think they didn't believe in it was almost like an all Korean cast sort of being, the head of it. And they're like, hey, I think it cost them like 100 million to make, but they only sold it to get 20 million back from Netflix. And
Hmm.
look at what Netflix has done. It's the most watched Netflix movie ever with 236 million views as of right now. And it's just going to continue growing. And even like you mentioned, the soundtrack. The soundtrack had four songs at one point in the top 10 of the Billboard top 100, so it shows Sony executives, and when you think of Sony, you think of like, oh, they know their movies. They make a lot of great movies, and yeah, they make great movies, but they also make some dumb decisions because this is a decision that they could have profited from so much, and even future movies. Because like Netflix is already thinking of sequels and what's next, and they're going to continue getting a lot of viewers because once you make a fan, especially with like children movies like this, like those youth and kids, they're going to be watching it for a long time. It's almost like with Disney and Pixar, Toy Story. Toy Story came out when we were kids, and now they're coming out with a new one, and all the adults are going to watch it, all their kids are going to watch it, and it's going to be a movie that's going to be a huge hit because of how popular it was back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to continue on, and parents are catching a
Mhm.
vibe with the songs. I've seen a ton of like parents filming themselves like lip syncing the songs in Demon Hunters, and it's honestly a generational fumble. Then like you're
Mhm.
mentioning, like it's
Yeah.
going to continue on for decades probably, and
Yeah.
I think that this is probably the biggest fumble since if you fumbled like the Catalina wine mixer,
Yeah.
it's just brutal. You just can't do it. I wonder if that guy, if the team that decided to do that got canned. Like this
I,
is a big fumble, you know?
I don't think they get canned. I think they probably just go to the mailroom and sort of have to work their way back up. Because
Yeah.
like I say, it is a little hard to predict, and
Yeah.
that sort of I think part of this take that you had is sort of people could think movies are good, critics could say a movie is bad, but someone else watching it might really enjoy it. They might like the story, they might like the dialogue, the characters that, these people, so-called professionals, don't like.
Mhm.
And I think it's a big thing because I was reading, haven't read too many, but reading some reviews on Good Boy. A lot of people are saying it's not that great of a movie. But I still think it's like if it's a movie that you want to watch and you might really enjoy it, even if critics are saying, yeah, no, it's not really a great story. Best part was the dog, CGI was bad. It's like look at the movies we still watch from back in the day. I still watch Terminator and that CGI is a you know, little iffy still, but
Sure.
it's a great movie, So it's like they're expecting so much in top quality movies when sometimes it's just a story. It's just how it makes us feel what we want to watch.
For sure. Yeah. They just kind of want that feeling of watching something that's so spectacular that, for the first time over and over again. And it's
Hmm.
just so rare that you get that feeling
Yeah.
where, like watching, you mentioned Toy Story the very
Hmm.
first time as a kid. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And then
Hmm.
you're like, oh, kids nowadays are like, oh, there's more. And then,
Hmm.
you get through them and they're going to be coming out with, an even
Hmm.
newer one in the next year. So it just continues on. And, same thing was kind of brought up too that I read with The Conjuring.
Hmm.
And it did, I think 490 million in the
Hmm.
box office. Maybe I'm totally wrong with that number, but I
Yeah.
think I read 490 million
Yeah. Could be.
cumulatively,
Hmm.
which is phenomenal for a horror movie.
Hmm.
It's some movies obviously get up there, but others can be a complete flop.
Yeah.
But I think the critics were still saying like, oh, it's not original enough. It's
Yeah.
like at a certain point, you run out of ideas, and then you run with an idea and just kind of critique the storyline
Hmm.
to it.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, what the Warrens did, it's based off of a true story. They have a zillion different artifacts that
Yeah.
they've come across, and each one has its own story. And this, we both saw the movie. I thought they did a great depiction
Hmm.
of it, and they coincided it with all the other movies to an extent, and it was still scary,
Hmm.
and everything about it. And I really went thorough on our on our recap of it. And at a certain point, though, it's like zombies, for example. How you can make zombies run fast, you can make them run
Hmm.
slow. It's all about storylines that go along with it. Like if you're just
Yeah.
going off of like the main content, it's like no, like focus on some other aspects to that, not just what is going wrong in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
what was the recent zombie movie that you saw, John?
28 years later. But
That's
but
right.
I think that had decent reviews. I think a lot of people liked it. I
Okay,
think they
good. Yeah.
didn't like the end. If you have Netflix, it's on Netflix. So get it if
Oh, I
you
gotta watch it then.
yeah.
Yep.
So watch it. We could do another little review of it, a few months later.
Well, like,
Yeah,
it's okay.
viewer discretion is advised with that movie.
Spoiler. Yeah. Yeah, viewer discretion advised. That's right.
Yeah.
You recapped it well.
But like it was a great movie. It was a great zombie movie. It was a great connection to the first 28 days later. So that's why I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole story. People thought it was like a little slow, not really that great of a zombie movie, but I truly thought it was a good movie. And like I say, I'm not saying it as someone trying to sell you a movie. I'm just giving you my straight up, truth. One of the like the recent movie I saw, The Long Walk, the Stephen King
Okay.
adaptation.
Hmm.
I truly liked it, and some people might be like, how is a movie with just teenage boys walking, horror and suspense, and just how they brought the story together, the characters talking about their past and sort of the twist at the end. It was great. Like Vera enjoyed it and she even like shed some tears because I think the way the movie gets you is you really start connecting to some of the characters in the movie, start
Hmm.
liking them, and then, a little spoiler warning, once one of them is eliminated because it can't walk or whatever happens, you shed a tear, and some of the situations were pretty sad. So
Hmm.
I think, that's a movie if you haven't watched, if you get a chance to, give it a shot. The Long Walk's a really good movie.
Yeah. And see, like it could be new adaptations like
Hmm.
that. Stephen King, of course, is incredibly original. But there's like zombies, for example. Like there's a ton of different, adaptation storylines that you can put with it and still enjoy that film. Like
Hmm.
you mentioned, 28 years later, you enjoyed it,
Hmm.
It's it's just not everything's always going to be like
Hmm.
uber original with that main storyline. But,
Yeah.
horror movies certainly have made a comeback. It's
Yeah.
October. There's a ton of classics out there that are always fun to go and
Yeah.
rewatch, without a doubt. And yeah, this time of year, I always think about The Exorcism, Spider Walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
It that's something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all,
Yeah.
kind of recirculating back to the main topic here, again, you don't always know what's going to hit. It can be, something uber original. It can be like a remake of something, and
Hmm.
it's just, wow, what a great remake that was, or what a
Yeah.
terrible remake that is. And you never know what you're going to get. But another thing I saw too on this topic also,
Hmm.
John, was at least in California, they're now going to start limiting the amount of ads that can be placed on these platforms, I believe.
Okay.
So they're gonna have it kind of be like more, I guess, mainstream TV in a way where
Hmm.
you're not going to get like a zillion different ads throughout, and
Okay.
I guess it's going to be a little bit more limiting. But I think
Nice.
that's just for the state of California. I don't know, if it's going to become like something federal or
Hmm.
moving on to that. But that's good, for
Hmm.
anybody that likes to stream things and can't make it to the theater all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
No, that's awesome. I think that's great. The ads always, I think, kill it for me a few times, but
Uh,
I think it's good. Like I said, our topic last week with AI, we have another topic about AI later today.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, the movies, like I said, we'll see what happens. I was gonna ask you because you sort of talked about it. We're in October. It's Halloween time.
mhm.
What are your top five horror movies to watch that you would probably go to
Ooh.
during this month?
Well, Exorcism.
Okay.
Um, I've brought it up probably way too much on the show. As above, so below. Always
That's-
creeps me out. I don't know, just stuff involving, you know, just the man down below is
That's a
just, it's just creepier in my opinion.
yeah.
Sinister is another one. We talked
Hmm.
about that not too
Yeah.
long ago. Just crazy good. The original Conjuring is great.
Yeah.
Um, and then if you want to throw it back, like just really any of like the Halloween movies, just
Hmm.
the suspense, it's crazy. I watched it, the most recent one in theaters not too long
Yeah.
ago, and it's cool. It's that's a nice kind of take on, a classic
Hmm.
where, you just kind of bring it back, remake it, and it's just like one of those films that it's like, oh yeah, it'll get me in the theater and then really
Yeah.
spook me out for the season. Much to Conjuring, it just
Yeah.
really, it was a great start to Halloween season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But those are just to name a few. I could name off a zillion others, but like The Right, for example, I thought was super scary.
Hmm.
Um, The Possession is kind of like an
Possession.
alternate film on the
Hmm.
exorcism. And then, you know, uh, what was it? The movie The Nun was creepy as
That
well.
was a pretty scary one, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. What was the Tiny Tim song? Insidious.
Insidious, yeah.
Tiptoe, blah, blah, blah. Creepy. But yeah, no, I'm probably taking some of yours. What are yours, John?
No, for me, one of them is Halloween. That's a must watch in this month. It's one that always freaks me out. The music, for some reason, anytime you hear it, if you ever hear that outside, just start running because most likely you're gonna get murdered. Hearing that music in the background while you're just walking
Yep.
outside. Um, uh, there's so many. Like I said, I think I like a lot of the classics. Scream at times I enjoy watching
Okay.
during this time of the
Yep.
month. Uh, a cult classic that I like to watch, but it's always a little weird. The Evil Dead. I don't know if you ever
Oh,
watched the old one.
no.
That's
Uh-uh.
uh that's a pretty good one. The Shining. I watched
Oh
that
yeah.
one.
It's a great one.
That's a good one. The old Texas Chainsaw Massacre and also the one with
Mm.
Jessica Biel. That one
Okay.
was also pretty scary. The one sort of you could say like as above so below the Descent, the one with
Oh
the
yeah.
women rock climbers. That one's
Yep.
pretty
Very
freaky.
creepy.
Um and then just anything else that comes, Aliens, The Thing, the original Thing, not the
Oh
new
yeah.
remake one.
Hmm.
World War Z, the one with Brad Pitt, that's a horror movie. I think it's
Hmm.
more of an action movie nowadays. I see it, but it's one that you could consider horror. Cloverfield. What else? If you want to watch a funny horror movie, Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead.
Yep. Oh,
Uh,
another one I thought of was Paranormal Activity, but not the first one. I think it was maybe the second one where I remember watching this in Thousand Oaks, and then in that film they're like Moore Park, California, and
oh yeah,
that's like a town right next to it. For
like
people
towards
that
the
don't
end,
know,
it shows
yeah,
it. I was
and
like,
the
yeah. When I
whole
saw that, I was like,
crowd
oh
goes,
hell no.
"Oh yeah!"
Yeah,
The
no,
whole
nobody
crowd
left
went
the theater
crazy.
after that. They're like,
You're
after
right.
that, I ain't
Yep,
going home.
that was creepy as hell, especially people from Moore Park. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Scary.
yeah.
But yeah, again, that talk about low budget film that just
Hmm.
out of the park.
Skyrocketed.
Oh man, that was
Yeah,
crazy good.
yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of great horror movies out right now. Halloween time, and new ones always that come out too. Even like the kid ones. Hocus Pocus is
Oh,
one
I
that
was gonna say that one right now. Yeah, Jen put it on
Hocus.
yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh. Yep.
that's one you have to watch. The old Beetlejuice is one I always like to watch. Um,
Halloween Town, right? Is that
I
another
was
Disney
not.
Channel?
It was another Disney one. That's one I never really got into. So
Okay.
not a big one for me. The Adam Sandler one, Hubie Halloween on Netflix. I enjoy
Oh
watching
yeah.
that one.
Okay.
It's just
Yep.
funny.
Yeah,
I'm
it
funny,
is.
but it's a good
Cheesy.
one.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like I said, if you don't like it in the scary version, they have the more PG friendly versions that are still good to watch during this time of the year.
For sure. Yeah, I think Halloween Town, when I was younger watching those Disney Channel classics, like
Hmm.
I think one of the things that creeped me out was that movie theater scene
Ah.
where everybody's like, can't stop looking at the screen. They look, just
Hmm.
practically dead.
Yeah.
That creeped me out always. And they
Yeah.
just couldn't be revived. And it's like, oh boy. I
Yeah.
remember having like a nightmare about that actually. Oh man.
uh,
But yeah,
but
no, if you watch it now, it's like
You're
That's
like,
yeah,
it's not that scary anymore. But as a
exactly.
kid, it's like it's just crazy.
Yep.
Um, there's this one movie, I'm trying to look it up. I can't remember. The one that's about uh it's about like a play and it's all like first person.
Oh,
Uh,
was yeah, I remember. So I remember a
the
film being
Gallows.
The Gallows. Okay, yeah, yeah. That
That
came
one.
out like what, about a decade ago, right?
Yeah, 2015.
Yes, that one was really creepy, actually.
Yeah. The first one was
Yes,
really creepy, just the whole way they shot it and just how dark it was and in like the movie, like it was all like red, black that you would see. That
that's
was a
right.
freaky one when I
Yep,
saw that.
I agree. Would you
Uh,
call When a Stranger Calls a horror movie or more
mhm.
suspense? Yeah,
I call it a horror, but I think it ends up going more suspense. It's not as scary, but it's those scenes that sort of give you that jump scare that what sort of make it horror. Because like I say,
yeah.
like the movie Weapons, the recent one, that
Hmm.
one is considered horror, but I think there's just a lot more suspense that sort of gets you. But it's always going to be
Yeah,
categorized as horror.
for
Um,
sure.
there's a lot of movies like that, so
Yeah,
it's always good. But yeah, Halloween. Let us know what you guys think for horror movies. There's so many. And it's always hard to watch them all because there's only so little time to watch it.
absolutely. Yeah, no, time of year to do it. Yeah, no, fun time of year.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of popularity with speaking of Thousand Oaks, the Thousand Oaks haunted mansion, or the haunted house in the Jans.
The 13 Doors, is it?
I think
Is it
so. Like the one, yeah, kind of there by Gold's, like in the corner, is getting a lot of
Reign of Terror? That's what it is.
Reign of Terror. There it is.
Yeah.
I saw somebody vlog it. Like
hmm
it's getting a lot of attention, I feel like, and they're saying it's one of the best.
it's been one of the best the last I think like 3 years. I think
Okay.
they've done it. I think they do it now in the old Burlington. So I think
Oh,
they
okay.
use both floors of that.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, so and I think it's like different like rooms that you just go through.
Okay. Yeah.
So
When you're in there, maybe you could find some old clothes in there. Yeah.
maybe,
From
yeah,
Burlington Haunted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe some old Nikes in there,
Yeah.
some old
Yeah.
J's.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. But no, yeah, that's a good haunted house from what I've heard. Haven't had a chance to go to that one yet this year, so we'll see if I
Okay.
get a chance.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's K-pop. Here's another take for you, something we could sort of talk about and sort of could
Okay.
have been a topic for today as well.
Perfect. With the release of Battlefield 6, all COD streamers are asking for Battle Royale for Battlefield. This is a sign COD is dead in the water with Black Ops 7. Yes, and quite frankly, it's a huge issue. And I'll tell you why. Not so much that, COD has collapsed in on itself and the cat cafe has taken over. It's more of an issue that we're getting COD streamers wanting to bring what they made wrong with Call of Duty to Battlefield. And it's like, dude, stop trying to infiltrate
hmm
every, first person shooter and just live it out with COD. COD's paying you
Yeah.
$1 zillion to like relentlessly love it and, act like it's the best thing ever. It's like, dude, stick to it. I'm
hmm
sure it's very tough to stream that game right now. I'm sure they're earning their dollars.
Yeah.
I would find it incredibly tough to stream that 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
just straight up.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas Battlefield, like it's two different games,
hmm
and we've heard it from a number of streamers where they're like, oh yeah, there's no, I don't know, slide canceling. They need to
hmm
fix their movement. It's like, dude, that's not what Battlefield is based off of.
Yeah.
If you've played any Battlefield in your life, it's more strategic.
hmm
It's more, utilizing your team, weapons,
Yeah.
revivals, and just being a team player. Like it's
Yeah.
the essence of that. The maps are
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, it's
It
what's needed.
it's objective play, you know.
Objective play. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you sent me a video today of a streamer being called out repeatedly because I think he had like 86 kills, but 3 seconds in the objective. And it's like, yeah, I mean, content wise, freaking awesome, great for you.
Yeah.
But like team wise, like people, let you have it if that's
Hmm.
all you're doing. Like even in our friend group, it's like if somebody
Yeah.
has low cap time, it's like, dude, what were you doing the whole match? Like
Yeah.
not even a second or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just taking advantage of people that are focusing on the objectives to get a lot
Hmm.
of kills. But Battlefield, you're kind of forced to do that. Like you can take over the map, you can,
Yeah.
and then your area of safe territory is dwindling, and yeah, it's just what it's all based off of.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it great. COD streamers stick to COD. It's okay. Like
Yeah.
have fun, but
Yeah.
don't. And you can't come to that game, especially if you've criticized it a lot, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, it's not for me. It's like great,
Yeah.
but live that out in its entirety. Don't change your mind later. Like
Hmm.
just stay there.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how many of these COD streamers are sort of asking for the battle royale, sort of saying like, "Oh, if you don't have a battle royale, your game's not gonna be successful." And it's like, no, it's not that. It's you're just trying to get all your tips, all your cheats. I think I sent you a video too today of day one of the beta of Black Ops. Already cheaters out there, already aimbot.
Oh
I think
yeah.
it was Richie out there already,
Yeah,
doing his
it's
thing.
unbelievable.
But but it's like the cheaters are already out there, whereas Battlefield is really trying to limit that. And like I say, it's more objective play. Like you play for the objectives, you play the team game. Um, yes, for streaming, just getting kills and great kill cam stuff is what you do, and that's what you clip mostly when you do when you're a game streamer. I'll say a lot of times you do get people to watch you play, but not too much. But it's just those clips. That's what makes you popular. You can
Mhm.
still get those clips in Battlefield,
Oh
you're
yeah.
not gonna miss out on clips of great kills, great, shotgun kills, sniper kills, whatever. You're gonna get it. It's just in a different way. I don't have to wall jump to 360 to slide cancel to get a kill and make it seem like it's all, oh my gosh. It's like, no, it's ridiculous, seeing these guys. And the one video when I sent it to you with the streamer that only got like 3 seconds on the objective, I was like guilty at times when I just mess around. It's like
Yeah.
guilty, but like when we're really trying to play the objective, we're really good at it, for fun, and
Yeah.
like I say, we're casual gamers, and I think that's what's going to be great about Battlefield. It's meant for the everyday casual gamers, not these streamers that have the no lifers,
Hmm.
that don't see a speck of grass in years, because they're camo grinding.
Hmm.
Even though it's always fun to camo grind, I don't know if
Hmm.
I think Richie finally got the one up on you when this
Oh, he
last
did.
Call of
Yeah. Yeah,
Duty.
he certainly did. Yeah.
Um,
I made it easy for him by not
yeah,
playing.
by not playing, but it's like, it's not the one, I always see that on TikTok every now and then. Some of the people like, I'm working on, the dark spine. I'm like, I don't care if you get
Yeah.
that. Like, it looks amazing, looks cool. Kudos to you. I'm like, I'm just here for gameplay. I'm just here to have fun with the fellas. When I get cool kills, remembering that and know that I still have it in me a bit. Um,
Yep.
but but yeah, these Call of Duty streamers, um, hey, Call of Duty wants to pay me a good amount of money to leave my job and stream your game for 8 hours a day. Pay pay me great money that I could afford everything I could afford. Hey, I'll hype up your game. I'll be so excited to play that game even though I suck at it and don't give a shit about it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure we both shared the video to each other with the kill streaks that's like kind of promoting like wall hacks
Oh
where
yeah.
you can see through the walls and just shoot through
Yeah.
anything. It's like, yeah, they can't get rid of them. It's like destroying them, I guess, at that point if you're gonna
Yeah.
make it a kill streak. And I think we kind of joked about that where like somebody was gonna get like a really annoying kill streak and
Hmm.
then just, use it on repeat and it's gonna
Yeah.
be obnoxious and yeah, there's just way too many sweats, and
Mm.
I think they're called 3-lane maps, where it's like there's three ways to really go across the map. If not, it's just, you're playing, across, wide territory. But
Yeah.
again, like if you have to go anywhere, like if you want to go cap the B flag or, the
Hmm.
opposite flag, it's you have one of three ways to go. And if you have people camping them consistently, it's like, dude,
Hmm.
that's going to be a miserable game. Nobody's going to have fun. And then
Yeah.
Battlefield, zillion different ways that you can try to
Hmm.
infiltrate. You can, tag along in a helicopter and
Yeah.
jump off of it and parachute somewhere. Like
Yeah.
it's just the variety is way better and you're more likely to avoid sweats. It's like if there is one in your game, it's like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm not going to go to that part of the map anymore. I'm just going to go over this way.
Yeah.
Like there's ways to get around it. And like you mentioned, for the casual gamer, that's phenomenal because
Yeah.
like you and I, we're dads, we're
Hmm.
busy weeks. If we want to like detox on a weekend,
Yeah.
is where it's at. And it's like, dude, the last thing we want is to come on, a game and just get absolutely roasted by somebody who plays it 12 hours a day. It's
Hmm.
like, and then skill-based matchmaking
Yeah.
is obnoxious. And I think that was a huge downturn. And then obviously with this topic, battle royales is arguably people's biggest talking point of why COD took such a whirlwind downwards, just a
Hmm.
downward spiral was because, everybody wants to, do a royale and, kind of base their gameplay off of that. And
Hmm.
I just think that there's royale fatigue at this point. Not every game
Hmm.
needs that.
Yeah.
Simple, like even with clash streaks, like you've talked about it. Like you had a hilarious
Hmm.
talking point of, oh yeah, use this shotgun as a sniper and get, 10 eliminations with
Yeah.
it in order to unlock a grenade you want. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Zero relevancy to any objectives, but
Hmm.
it's like, camel grinding was fun when it was like, okay, get 25 headshots for
Yeah.
this one, 50 for that
Yeah.
one. It's like,
Yeah.
that's all we need.
Yep.
Simple, simple people.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm excited for it. Can you pre-order it already? I don't even know. I haven't had a chance to even turn on my
Yeah,
PlayStation in a
I
while.
think you can. If I'm not mistaken, Jonathan said he already pre-ordered it.
Okay.
And it releases what, Tuesday or Friday?
Friday, I think.
Friday. Oh,
Yeah.
it's killer. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
So, yeah, no, it's gonna be great. Like I say, yeah, these COD streamers just stick to your lane, get paid. Don't worry about it. We don't need you on there. It, I think it's just hilarious because, like I said, they're all coming out of the woodwork now after the Call of Duty beta, and they're all saying Battlefield needs Battle Royale, and it's like, honestly, like I don't know. Give me your take on this. I hated Battle Royale. I don't like it. Uh, it was always just not my cup of tea because there are a lot of campers that are on that game.
Hmm.
Because it's once you die, you're pretty much out. And it's like, it's not what I'm there to just wait 30 minutes to try to get one kill. Where there are some players that just go out there and are grinding, doing well, but some of them are just camping, and it sort of takes that pleasure away from me. So that's why I hated doing Battle Royale. I don't think we ever really did it as a friend group.
Not really. No, not at all. The only thing that we did like in that type of game mode variety was plunder, which,
Hmm.
you're more active, you're running to different places and you're constantly running, which is fun, for a bit. But with Battle Royale, yeah, I agree. I never really got into it. And then like let's say you get eliminated in the first 5 minutes of the game, then you're finding another match which takes seemingly forever at times.
Hmm.
And then you load into another loading screen. You have a countdown clock for another 45 seconds. It just feels like it takes forever.
Hmm.
You kind of lose passion for it. And then it's like, okay, this game, I'm going to try to survive longer. And then,
Yeah.
if you do that, then you find yourself just like being kind of a lame camper.
Hmm.
Um, people get their classes and when you don't have a class and it's like a race to get your class or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my cup of tea either. And then one other point too, with the clip of the 86, eliminations
Yeah.
with 3 seconds in the objective, it cracked me up when his buddy was all like, "Dude, it's just the beta. It's just the beta." And it's like, dude, don't lie. Once this game drops, you're gonna be doing the same exact shit every
Yeah.
single game, no matter what. Like, don't lie. You're not gonna all of a sudden play the objective.
Yeah. No, yeah, they're not gonna play the objective. They're there, like I said, they're there to clip grind, so they want the clips,
Mhm.
and you're not going to get as many clips from playing objective. So that's why,
Mhm.
if they want the clip grind, go to team deathmatch, go to free for all.
Yeah.
Don't be playing these hard points, type of games because it's like those are, objective based. And if you have one person on your team not doing what they're supposed to be doing to help you get the objective, you're never going to win, and it sort of takes the fun out of that game. So,
Right. And then what's annoying too is like, you look at his reaction to people saying like, "Oh, dude, why are you even playing this game mode if you're not going to do that?" And then like him sitting there like he just quite frankly just does not care is just like even more annoying. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, then like you said, just go play a different game mode, man, or just,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, they'll do that at the beginning too because they'll camo grind,
hmm
and most of those are involving elimination. So,
Yeah.
they'll do that for a while, then they'll bring their extravagant camos to the Royale and go
hmm
from there.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that comes out this week. I think it's exciting. Brand new game, always
Hmm.
fun. Um,
Always.
and yeah, and those are our banter takes, as always with our takes. Let us know if you like them, if you have problems with whatever we said. Let us know in the comments, agree or disagree. We enjoy the banter. That's what we're here for. We're banter on the rock. So, um, we'll go into talking a little NFL. Week 5 this past week. My team just non-existent with injury wise. Don't really need to talk about it much other than I might be done with them for this year.
Oh boy.
But overall, like I say, I expected that loss. I'm not surprised from it or how much we were blown out by.
So you bring up sorry John, I'm probably beating a dead horse with this, but or just talking about your team. I'm sure it's not, I've been there, done that with the Niners, so I get it.
hmm
But you brought up a really interesting topic last
hmm
week, which you suggested that, if things really begin to fall apart, you need to get rid of Derrick Henry and kind of reevaluate your team
hmm
altogether and look towards next year's draft. Are you at that point now?
Uh, I'm pretty much there. I know I'm hearing Lamar Jackson may be available week 6, but I'm like it's a hamstring injury. If that hamstring's not fully ready, don't throw him out there because he's a running quarterback. If your hamstring's not ready, you're gonna tear it, and then that's the season, and that's probably even looking into next year because those hamstring injuries are lingering injuries that could still haunt you for years to come. So
Hmm.
I would say don't let him play until he's 100%. Nothing's wrong with the hamstring, and then if we could make it in the playoffs, then yeah, kudos. He could still support us. But if it looks like we're gonna be outside of it, let's reevaluate. And Derrick Henry, he, the way running backs are going down this season, any team will pay for him that's
Yeah.
in contention.
That's a great point. Yeah, I think he's a great trade asset to have, and you guys have other running backs you can focus on, like Keaton Mitchell.
hmm
Like, have
Yeah.
we seen much of him at all this year yet?
He was finally activated this past week, had a few touches,
Got
so
it.
he might be getting a lot more action in the coming days.
Yeah, but another thing I didn't like that much was the booing of John Harbaugh.
hmm
The team is decimated with injuries.
Yeah.
Like you have to cut him some slack. Like that team
hmm
is consistently competitive,
hmm
and it's rare to find a coach that will put in that type of
Yeah.
result. So I think they're booing the wrong person. If they want to boo somebody, just I don't know, boo the turf, blue.
Yeah.
Team doctors or trainers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Shout out them. They do their job too. But it just boo injuries that they just suck. We've seen a lot of them.
hmm
We saw more this week, and I'll briefly touch on my Niners because we're riddled with them.
Yep.
Just straight thugging it through with Mac Jones though. Like, oh man, he is something else. Dude's like dry heaving on his way off the field. His knees banged up. He's looking like he has a bionic knee out there with his big brace on.
Yep.
Um, it's just incredible. What he went through. People were rumoring that he ate like a record of 11 bananas, but he confirmed it was just three.
I heard it was 11,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I'm curious.
Yeah, yeah, he said it was just three, but kind of laughed that, people are speculating that it was 11. It's a lot of bananas.
Yeah.
Get that potassium, get the,
Mm-hmm.
the out of the way. Smart fruit to eat there on the sidelines. But, with all the injuries and all things considered, for us to go up against, a Rams team at Levi South like that,
Mm-hmm.
incredible. The
Yeah.
defense absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
I said it preseason. Salah's defense is amazing. Like he is at where he needs to be, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
with Salah. Like I'm sure eventually he'll probably get down to the territory of getting another head coaching offer somewhere.
Yeah.
Can't guarantee it though. But at the same time, like Salah's defense, like he's consistently
Mm-hmm.
top 10, top five
Yeah,
defense.
it's been.
Like this defense is done a 180. Honestly, like we've been competitive, we've been good,
Mm-hmm.
but his defense is just beastly. Secondary played really well. Huge stops. Kyron
Mm-hmm.
Williams,
That was a big one.
yeah, the fumble, and then after
Mm-hmm.
that, stopping him on that short yardage situation. Absolutely incredible. Loved it. This team has a lot of heart. And then a lot of takes coming up with Mac Jones also,
Mm-hmm.
where, Dan Orlovsky, right, said, and this is a topic I'm sure you want to briefly talk about here, John, is, system QBs. And, Brock Purdy, I'm sure he's eager to get back to prove that he's not just a system QB. But
Yeah.
Dan Orlovsky said, if Mac Jones was put in Kyle Shanahan's offense,
Mm-hmm.
back years ago, he would be doing what Brock Purdy's doing. I think he said that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And here we are, and I'm sure the stats kind of prove to be pretty similar at the moment. Even
Mm-hmm.
though I did hear on local radio that I think air yards are a big difference between Purdy and Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is throwing a lot of, short yardage
Yeah.
passes, and that he had a lot of success with that against the Rams, and Purdy has thrown a little bit deeper, but stat wise,
Yeah.
pretty similar.
Pretty similar. And yeah, that was sort of one of my topics is Brock Purdy, system quarterback. I think I've been saying it for quite a while. Esteban probably is gonna hate my little take right now,
Tag him on
but
this one.
but I truly do think he is the system that you guys have in San Francisco. You guys have the system for for any quarterback to sort of step in that has the same play style, and that is Mac Jones. Yeah,
Mhm.
Brock Purdy could throw a little deeper, has longer balls, but does it really matter when you're so able to get down the field and run some clock out and win games? Like, it doesn't really matter, because you're there about wins, and it sort of goes on to sort of the take with like Jalen Hurts, where Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, but he's not a star. He's not a Hall of Famer. Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, I don't think they're going to be Hall of Famers unless they do something drastic within the next few years. But they could be great quarterbacks that could take a team to win a Super Bowl because of the system, and
Mhm.
that's okay for a team, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great system quarterbacks out there. So, like I say, nothing against Brock Purdy. I I feel bad that you guys had to pay that much because you're seeing right now you could do it without Brock Purdy, and hey,
Hmm.
maybe he doesn't come back. This is, the Colin Kaepernick thing where Colin Kaepernick stepped in, was able to take the team to win, and Alex Smith was shipped out the next year.
Yeah, true. And I think Purdy's contract, like after 3 years, right?
Hmm.
You can work out something a little different. I think that's where it's fully guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I think it's a 5-year deal altogether
Yeah.
in total. Um, but yeah, I'm glad we are finding success. Eddie Pinheiro, incredible. I think he's
Yeah.
11 for 11 with us, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. He's missed one PAT. That's okay. But what a difference. Like Moody would have missed these kicks. Like Pinheiro had a good doinker. Uh, Moody would have hit the other side. Like he's really good at hitting, the poles dead on and then it bouncing the wrong way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pinheiro's been on fire.
Hmm.
Pinheiro's dinero. Keep that going. Super stoked on him.
Yeah.
And just all facets of the game. It's great. And this win overall proved to be great because we
Hmm.
beat the Rams. Cardinals lose. Seahawks lost. So just separates us a little bit more.
It does.
Hope we get healthier
Hmm.
soon. and make a good push here. Our schedule is very favorable.
Hmm.
But moving on to other teams, you already mentioned it, the Eagles. I did want to talk about them, of course.
Yeah.
Eagles, Jalen Hurts, the running game's non-existent this week. I feel like
Mm-mm.
they're going too pass happy. I don't know if they're there just to try to please AJ Brown right now with what he's saying,
Mm.
but AJ Brown did a fantastic job playing defense on Devontae Smith at the end of the game. Jalen Hurts tried to run that one out and catch his own Hail Mary at the same time. Doesn't trust his wide receivers. I don't know.
Maybe.
Just That's a way to start a rumor.
Hmm.
But Saquon, why? Like he wasn't banged up this game, right? He was healthy
N
throughout.
not that I was aware of, but there are rumors he has a nagging knee injury, so who
No.
knows if it was precautionary without saying anything prior to this week. Yeah, Saquon only 9 touches overall, 6 carries, 3 catches, which you deserve to lose a game if that's what your game plan is when you have Saquon. And it sort of
Yep.
goes to like the takes I've had with the Ravens. It's like, don't go away from your game script. You know what your bread and butter is. The bread and butter for the Eagles is the running game with Saquon, with Jalen Hurts. Yes, we talk smack about Jalen Hurts not being a passing QB. He's probably trying to do this because he wants to show off that he is. But look what happens when you go off a game script. You lose,
Mhm.
so they made a mistake. We'll see if Saquon's more injured, depending on what happens this week. They play Thursday night, so if he's not playing, it means there's another underlying thing, and that should be a concern for them if that's the case. But yeah, not a great game for them, not a great game plan. Um,
Madden curse
but yeah,
continues.
maybe could be a Madden curse thing, because yeah,
It's an issue.
hmm
I mean, dude, we're seeing
it's
it before
always
our
yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
Yeah, performance wise doesn't have to just be injuries. It could just be, you know, just not living up to your expectations, in
Hmm.
production. That's exactly where it's at. But that game altogether, Denver's locker room was a little hazy after the game.
Hmm.
Just they're all getting mile high. Just kidding. I don't know if that's true. But a lot of smoke in that room. Maybe a fog machine, cigars, you name it. But well deserved overall.
Hmm.
That game was just one of those games where like you see they're up by a bunch. I think was that game like I don't know 20-3 at one point,
Yeah,
21 to
it was or like 17-3, I think it
17 to
was.
3.
Yeah,
Yep.
something like
And
that.
it's one of those games where you're just like, it's kind of a boring, lopsided game at the moment. Denver can't get much going. Then all of a sudden you turn back in and it's like, oh, whoa,
Hmm.
it's just like the Titans game. Titans pulled out something miraculous as well in
Yeah.
Arizona. That was an ugly game. Quick thing on that game. Why do players keep dropping the ball before they get past the goal line? Like that, it's been decades of seeing that happen at
Hmm.
all levels of the game. Dude, like, I don't care if it looks dorky. I'd go across at times with like this to make sure I don't celebrate too soon. It's
Yeah. Yeah,
that easy.
I think it's what, the second time this season it's happened?
Yeah, I
And
think that's
I
right.
think that's too many times, that is just not something you should be doing as a professional. I did see, I don't know if you saw the video of the coach sort of going up to the
Gannon.
player and sort
Yeah.
of hitting him from what it looks like, but coach, of course, yeah, you have to be angry about it because it probably cost you the game, but at the same time, you got to have a more cooler head, yeah, scream at him,
Yep.
but don't be hitting a player. He's already going to be living with a lot of that shit for quite a while, but yeah, I don't know why they do it. It's hilarious when it does happen, though. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. No, yeah, especially when it's not your team and
Yeah.
it's somebody else. But yeah, clearly he knew what he did wrong. Like he was already on the sidelines, a couple players next to him trying to, kind of prop him up a bit. And, then you have your head coach coming in,
Hmm.
hammering on your shoulder pads. It's like, dude, to a certain extent, like, I get it. Football, it's a very disciplined, hard-nosed sport, but locker room stuff sometimes,
Hmm.
like take it off the field, he knows what he did in that moment. Like there's no need to like go and put extra on it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, overall, that was a really ugly performance in game
Yeah.
from the Cardinals. Not overly surprised. That team's been decimated by injuries too, and just looks a little wonky. I don't know. Maybe it's
Hmm.
those jerseys. Those
Could
new
be.
jerseys are just hideous over there. Um, you know that I don't know, the Raiders, awful. Couldn't get much
Raiders,
worse.
bad. Um, Browns, Dylan Gabriel, decent first game, managed pretty well.
Better flow.
Um, Better flow. We'll see how he continues. Don't think he's the second coming of Tom Brady, but not a bad game for someone who probably a lot of people didn't have high expectations from him.
Mhm.
Managed the game well, so Shadir looks like he might not be getting on the field at all this year, but we'll see. That
Mhm.
could change. Patriots are contenders. Took down the
Yeah.
Bills.
How about that?
Your take is
Hey,
looking really good. That team, I think it looks like they're finally clicking. The first few games, I think they were getting used to the coach, the whole new schemes. But they're looking really solid right now. That team, Stephon Diggs just coming out, still
Oh
an
yeah.
amazing wide receiver. So that's a that's a team to be on the lookout for.
For sure. Christian Gonzalez, I mean,
Hmm.
he's been back 2 games now. What a difference already.
Yeah.
Defensively, like that's a great Bills team. And, he did a great job. He had a huge play, like, causing a fourth down, and a field goal to ensue
Hmm.
with the Bills late in that game yesterday. Just huge impact player. That defense looks
Hmm.
good. The wide receiver core is good. They really need to figure out the fumbling issue, though, with the
Yeah.
running backs. That's iffy. But the talent's there. I mean,
Hmm.
Stevenson, yeah, another fumble, but still scored later in the game. You have two other backs. Antonio Gibson got banged up though on that
Hmm.
return.
Yeah.
Travion Henderson, I think he can be good. He just doesn't get a whole lot of reps. He's, a return guy right
Yeah.
now. But like you said, Diggs looks great. Bills, always will be a threat.
Yeah.
There's not much worry there. It's just I think the Pats are the real deal.
Yeah.
It's a good take. And then going on to another take, yeah, your Bucks. What a great game that was. A huge back
Yeah.
and forth up there in Seattle. Baker was fired up that whole game. A lot of funny pregame stuff. I saw him bickering and bantering back and forth with
Yeah.
a fan. I thought that was hilarious. And he's just a good vibe.
Hmm.
He's what is the essence of an NFL QB, and I'm happy that he's found a great landing spot for him, and he's proving it even with another team with injuries. Mike Evans
Hmm.
still isn't there. Igbuka just continues to prove he's the real freaking deal, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Ibuka, that guy's just showing up even with Chris Godwin there. I think even when Mike Evans comes back, I think he has to be the number two receiver.
Yeah.
Um, or even now the number one and let Mike Evans, Godwin play that number two, three role. But yeah, well, once that team gets healthy, because even Bucky Irving out,
Yep.
that when that team gets healthy, they get everything clicking. They're a dangerous team. So Bucks, Patriots, Super Bowl, I could see it. It could happen.
Imagine. That would be great for this show.
It
Oh,
would.
that would be great.
Yeah.
That'd be such a crazy, happen chance. Oh man,
Yeah,
be a
but
vibe.
no, those teams are great. Ubuka, the way he's going right now, probably rookie of the year for the offensive rookie of the year, playing lights out,
Oh yeah.
making a big difference for his team. Um, who else? Who else? Jags, Trevor Lawrence,
Oh yeah.
maybe the real deal.
The best season of his career so far, without a doubt. He did it, through the air. He did it on the ground. Like, he threw deep passes this week too. Like he looked like a really serviceable quarterback.
Hmm.
That 1 yard play, to win the game at the
Yeah.
end, where he like can't get his legs under him, and
Hmm.
miraculously gets up, runs to the edge and still
Yeah.
scores was killer. I think clearly we can go back to it, John. I'm sure you know what I'm gonna say. The
Yeah.
kryptonite is Trent fucking Baalke, and he's
Yeah.
not there anymore. They win.
Yeah.
Look at that. Niners did the same thing. Get rid of him, and
Hmm.
you're phenomenal again.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. Cohen, Duval, like he's doing it, man. Like, everybody thought like how bad that would look, like if it
hmm
actually turned bad. But you can't say anything. Like the dude coached really well today. It seemed like,
hmm
the defense looked good against, the Chiefs. Offense was clicking. Travis Hunter, big catch. That was a
Yeah.
phenomenal play.
No, yeah, great
Um,
catch.
Brian Thomas back. He's doing something.
hmm
Um, yeah, no, Jags look good. What are they, four
Yeah,
and one now?
4-1.
Um, and a very winnable. Well, Colts, right, are still there.
Yeah.
It can be winnable though. They're
hmm
they're they're right there. Yeah, and then on the other side of that, Chief, sorry, so sorry.
Reality is kicking in. They're not getting the help from the Zebras the way they were previous years. Um, yeah, I think we saw this coming. Um, they got what, one more week before Rashid Rice comes back.
Yep.
So let's see if they could get that third win. But like I said, this was a game I think a lot of people probably had the Chiefs winning, being
Hmm.
at 3-3, and now they're 2-4. Um,
Two and
they
three.
played 2-3.
Hmm.
Um, but now they're gonna play the Lions. So 2-4.
Ooh,
Just predicting it
yeah,
already.
yeah, you are. Yeah, no, rightly so, because the Lions are on freaking fire.
Lions
Both
are.
ends of that
hmm
team are, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Lions can make a nice run if they stay healthy, because I think that's what hurt them last year.
Yep.
Injuries to their defensive side
Big time.
is what hurt him last year, and I think they would have probably made the Super Bowl and could have won the Super Bowl as well. The way they're playing right now, and they had all their coordinators that are now head coaches too. So
Hmm.
uh, we'll see, but um, yeah, that's all I really had for NFL takes. Not much more that really
Um,
stood out.
Really seems to be the year of the rookies, though. Like just a lot
hmm
of rookie talent, rookie play.
hmm
Jackson Dart, meh. Rattler finally got his first win.
Yeah.
Scatabo needs new gloves. It's just, he's an animated guy in the sidelines. I still love the way he plays.
Yeah.
Just he's fun to watch. Chargers, man, talk about injuries. It's
hmm
decimating. Sucks for us too in our fantasy team. Marion Hampton, going to the injury list.
IR. Yeah.
That's a huge bummer. Judkins is the real deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely the real deal. And Cleveland, like, just run the heck out of him.
Yeah.
This is the years to take advantage of a running back, and
Yeah.
they need to. Um, yeah, but Bears had the bye week. I'm interested to see what direction the Bears are going because
hmm
they finally look like they got something going. Um, Raiders, I think they really need to consider Kenny Pickett at some point. The
Yeah.
Gino is just that ain't
It,
it.
yeah, it ain't him. It might be the situation. I'm curious if he's partying in Las Vegas too much.
Oh, yeah,
Because it is a little danger for some people,
sure.
living in Vegas. But yeah, I'm not a Raider hater, but I'm also not a big Raider fan. But I've had higher hopes for them, and they're just not really showing it. I don't know if it's Pete Carroll. I don't know if it's Chip Kelly. It's sort of waiting to see a little bit more. But Ashton Genty, another great game. Real deal right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. He's like the lone, well, him and Trey Tucker, are just two players on that offense that, know what's up. Um,
Yeah.
Colts win again. Good job,
hmm
Colts. Cleveland is
Yeah.
not Cleveland, Cincy right now.
hmm
Kind of a bummer team. Yeah, overall,
hmm
year of the rookies, everybody's doing pretty
Yeah.
good. Um, Competitive so far. No team is undefeated now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue seeing it. I think there's a lot of. I don't think there's clear cut people for the Super Bowl. Yeah, I think I still want to see a few more weeks before start making
Hmm.
some predictions. But it's getting better offensively too. It's getting a little better.
Hmm.
But like I said, I've enjoyed it. This week was a pretty good week. Bye weeks are starting, so some of these teams are taking the breaks, and some of them much needed.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. With all these injuries,
Hmm.
much needed for a lot of teams. McDaniels might be the first guy to go too, being,
Yeah,
fired.
most likely.
That was ugly.
Yeah, most likely he will be, but we'll see. Miami's that type of team that might just keep him another year. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, you're right.
Mm.
They might. They
Yeah,
might. Why not?
yeah. But but yeah, that's NFL, and we'll sort of swing over to MLB and postseason. Wild card
Mhm.
series this past week happened. Dodgers defeated Cincinnati, 2-0. Um, simple series for us. Uh, Cubs, Padres also. Um, did that go 3 games? Was that a
It
3 game?
did.
It did,
It
yeah.
did. Yeah, Padres won
Yeah.
game two,
Two,
Cubs
right?
won game
Yeah.
three.
Yeah. But overall, Padres blew it. Another year of them saying it's our year and not even
Hmm.
making that other wild card. Enjoy that banner for your stadium, and your fans. Then
Don't use
Yank
big words. Sorry, don't use big words when interviewing Manny Machado either.
Manny
Like,
Machado.
don't urgency. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
It was so weird.
that was funny. Uh, Guardians, Tigers, that was a good series. Tigers ended up winning it. I think they were the better team.
Hmm.
Like I said, Scuball will be. I don't know if he's pitched yet in this
He did
series.
last night,
Did he?
and Seattle beat him.
Yeah.
Polanco went yard on him twice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is that
energetic.
series that series 1-1 now or
It is a
1?
great series. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then Yankees beating the Red Sox. Red Red Sox had it. Red Sox should have won. They
Hmm.
made so many mistakes game two and game three that sort of lost them the game.
Yep.
So unfortunate for them, but promising for the future for them. So I'm excited to see them in the future. But Yankees, as of right now, I'm surprised they're getting spanked by the Toronto Blue Jays
Hmm.
badly.
Yeah.
Toronto's without two of their great pitchers and without
Bo Bichette.
Bo Bichette. It's
Yep.
like, and they're still getting it done.
Oh yeah. No, the bats have been clicking. Vlad Jr. hit a grand slam. I think what first game they put up 10, second game they
Yeah.
put up 13,
Hmm.
and they're doing it against, the aces of the Yankees.
Yeah.
So y- y- not looking good.
Hmm.
Also, Judge letting that ball go through his legs. Like, he's kind of a liability in the field,
Hmm.
especially with the elbow issue,
Yeah.
with his throwing arm. I'd like to say DH him, but who are you going to throw out there? Stanton,
Yeah.
and he's already your DH. And so yeah, Blue Jays just got it. Like,
Hmm.
it's just a good team overall. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah. They play tomorrow. Let's see if tomorrow's the last day for the Yankees. But the Yankees are still a team that I think can pull it off because their bats could be hot at any
Hmm.
moment and their pitching's decent. So don't I'm not counting them out yet, but it's going to be a tough hill to battle,
Oh yeah.
against Toronto. But that's good. Not a great series, but funny to see the Yankees getting spanked the way they are. Uh,
Hmm.
Seattle Tigers. That's a series I really haven't been keeping track. I know Seattle lost the first game,
Yep.
um, but they won. They won yesterday.
They won yesterday. Like I said, Polanco went yard twice. Then um, Raleigh hit a double down the line, and then Julio followed up with a double down the line.
Hmm.
Crowd was electric. That Seattle crowd is really bringing it.
Yeah.
It seemed like just a great playoff atmosphere over
Hmm.
there so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that series, very competitive. It might be
Yeah.
arguably the best series that we have so
Hmm.
far in this round, because everything else is Dodgers, Dodgers
Yeah.
Phillies at the moment. We can go into that next, talk about your
Yeah.
Dodgers. They're up 2-0 now going
Two,
tonight.
two, 2-0 at now. Last point with Seattle
Yeah.
Tigers. I think it'll go five. I think that's the one
Hmm.
series we'll see all 5 games, which unfortunate because they're gonna get tired of going against whoever. If Blue Jays sweep, Blue Jays get that little extra break, which is gonna help them.
Yep.
But we'll see. But yeah, Dodgers Philly, we won again today. Close one in the ninth. Um, Dave Roberts needs to not be experimenting in the playoffs and just go to the go-to guys, go to those relievers. Uh, because Blake almost lost it for us today, giving up all those hits, you know,
Yep.
in the ninth. But we were able to pull it off. Um, like I say, I'm glad we did because if we would have lost it the way we were close to losing it in the ninth, um, that momentum would have hurt us against the Phillies because this Phillies team is still a very dangerous team. It's a team you can't count out. And they sort of saw what our weakness is today with our bullpen, and our
Mhm.
relievers. So hopefully our starters could get us deep into games because that's what helped us against Cincinnati. Our two starters, Snell and Yamamoto, getting us deep into. I think they made it to the sixth, seventh inning, so not having to use too many bullpen players. So um, that's what I hope to see. But yeah, travel day tomorrow, play again Wednesday. Hopefully we close it off at home. But because like I said, you give Philly a chance, they're gonna take it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Philly's a phenomenal team still. Just shocked that they dropped two at home because that crowd really brings it there in Philly too.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, can't say I'm sad about that
yeah,
because, Philly's Philly. Philly's a
yeah,
great crowd though. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Dave Roberts getting a lot of backlash, not, putting Roki out there, right?
Rookie, yeah.
Where he's been Mr. Consistent in that closer
Hmm.
position lately and you know, Trennan, has consistently kind of just
Yeah,
screwed it,
yeah,
at the end of
yeah.
games lately, right?
Yeah,
So,
I think in September it was like 11 point something ERA for the
ooh,
month of September. And, Roberts is like, in the playoffs, he has come up big. I'm like, yeah, he came up big for us last year. This year, if
yeah.
you look at his games, he's not the same guy. So it's like, don't be expecting him to do it in the playoffs when his confidence is already pretty down.
Hmm.
Um, did well in the wild card, but it's still, this is the Phillies. It's not Cincy, and nothing against Cincinnati. They're a great team, but they're not the Phillies. This is a more dangerous team that you can't be experimenting with. So, um, yeah, Dave Roberts. I don't think he's on the hot seat, but if he makes a mistake that sort of loses us this series, it's going to be talked about because he has done that for many years for us, losing series that we should have won some World Series and had more than just two the last few years.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
Uh,
he's come under a lot of scrutiny in the past with that.
mhm.
But yeah, I mean, at least you guys have the benefit of being up 2-0, as do now
Yeah.
the Brewers. Brewers up
Hmm.
2-0, won tonight against the Cubbies 7 to
Hmm.
3. Cubs pitching kind of failing them at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, because the bats can be there for the Cubs, but
Hmm.
yeah, that Brewers incredibly tough team regardless. They're
Yeah.
from pitching to hitting, they really have it all.
Hmm.
Let's see if the Cubs can kind of sneak some wins here at going back to Wrigley. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's an uphill battle, and then let's see, what it makes for the next round. But the Brewers are absolutely competitors this year for the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah. Brewers are a tough one. I think if I would want to see someone as a Dodger fan, I'd want to see the Cubs. I think that pitching rotation we could take advantage of.
Hmm.
Brewers, I think what's concerns me more is their hitting. They have consistent hitters and people
Yep,
that could hit well. And like I say, our pitching, starting pitching, I think we're solid. Relievers, bullpen is where we're sort of struggling, and that's where the Brewers could take advantage of us. So if it's Dodgers Brewers, that's going to be an amazing series to watch.
for sure. Yeah, no, it'll be a ton of fun. Sure it'll be fun for Yelly,
Yeah.
coming back to his home territory,
Yeah.
going up against the Dodgers and deep in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
fun environment for sure. But if the way things are going, that's kind of looking likely at the moment. But never say
Yeah.
never because we're
Yeah.
not there yet. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but fun, overall, this is the best time of
Mhm.
year for baseball, as we said last week. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Sunday I watched a lot more baseball than football until
Wow.
like some of the games were done.
Yeah,
So,
good for you. Nice.
enjoying baseball more at the moment. And especially with my team just sucks. So, not really paying attention to them too much.
Can't blame you. Yeah, no, this
Yeah.
week I kind of, I watched, a decent amount of football here and there, but Not uberly focused on anything in particular because Niners had already won on Thursday Night Football, and yeah, baseball was something, good to focus on. But yeah, most of my highlights that I've seen have been Seattle. I just think that team brings a ton of excitement.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
it's a fun team.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be some good games tomorrow. Let's see. Seattle plays out one,
Hmm. I don't
Yankees,
like
Blue
that.
Jays five. Yeah.
Too early for a weekday, Tuesday. Come on,
Yeah.
a little later.
Yeah. I wish it was like a 2 to 3, like a 3 o'clock game. I think the way it was today, Dodgers, I think were three, Phillies seven. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a
that's
good
perfect.
when it's two games. I think Wednesday there's four games, so we'll be having to watch some 11 o'clock games.
Yeah.
Um,
And see, that's where baseball kind of fails though, in my opinion, is you don't have competition on Tuesdays. Like
yeah.
football, they're done for the week.
Yeah.
So take advantage of prime time. You'll
Yeah.
get so many more viewers if you set it to, like tonight was, what was
Yeah.
it, 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. or
Yeah.
6 p.m., 4,
It
4
was,
and
it was
6, whatever.
3:30, 6:30 or 7, something like
There
that.
you
Yeah.
go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense, but we'll see. I think after this series, it's only two series, so we'll hopefully more primetime games. But yeah, excited to see tomorrow because, like I said, the Yankees could get eliminated, and if they get eliminated, that's going to be big news. Seattle, Detroit, you know, Detroit could take that series at home because, like I said, this is a best of five, so
Hmm.
um. That new has it always been a best of five? You
I
know,
want to say it went 7
it went
back in the
seven
day.
before, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I prefer this stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun. I
Okay.
think it's more competitive. Seven
Okay.
game series early in the playoffs when it's baseball, it can get a little dry, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I
lot
know
of
the
baseball.
yeah, it's a lot of baseball. I know the wild card was always three, but I was always like, I always thought this, after the wild card it was best of seven. Now it's best of five, which don't hate. I think it's
Yeah,
fine. Wild card though, I think game three staying in that home stadium that used to be different, right? Wasn't it 2-1
I
or?
thought they would travel. Yeah,
What did they travel? So that's interesting, but I get it, I guess. If you're the higher seed in the wild card, you should get home field advantage.
the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because or else it's 1-1-1, and that's an awful lot of travel for
Yeah.
every other
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Especially with some of these teams, LA to Cincy, Boston to New York would have been a simple one. Detroit to Cleveland also not too bad.
Not too bad. Padres to
Cindy,
Cubs is a bit.
yeah. So yeah, it makes sense, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's baseball. Yeah, we'll see. Eh, do you think if they would include the playoffs and World Series votes, Judge might have lost his or his MVP?
Probably. Yeah, because I mean, he's done a good job at helping the team lose right now. Just they're not winning, but at least Raleigh,
Hmm.
what he did. That's where I go back to like what he did as a catcher is
Hmm.
phenomenal. I think I saw some catching stat for him
Okay.
that maybe he didn't have any pass balls this season, if I'm
Okay.
not
Yeah.
mistaken. Really good stat, like incredible for the
Hmm.
amount that he played.
Yeah.
Um, it's just that's a rigorous position,
Hmm.
and that's why the records that he broke this season.
Hmm. We're
I
big.
mean, yeah, they're huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think that because, like I said, Judge, he's gonna go down in history if they lose this and he makes at least one more mistake, that he is not meant for the playoffs and to take this team to the promised land because that'll be two
Yep.
years in a row.
Start
Or
the Charles Barkley comparisons. I
yeah,
don't
it could
know.
be.
Brutal.
Yeah. But yeah, that's baseball. And now we'll talk a little bit about Sora, the AI videos. New application making AI videos, and yeah, I'll let you sort of take the lead on this, Tim, because you've really been enjoying Sora.
Yeah. It's been a ton of fun. I can't lie. I tried signing up, I believe it was late last week. Saw it was invite only. I was like, okay, well, I guess it's, related to, what was it, OpenAI,
Hmm.
ChatGPT. Then I tried logging in 2 days later to see like, oh, is it open now? And it said I was like, oh yeah, here's your code. You can log in now. And I was
Hmm.
like, okay, great. So logged in and then was able to invite you, which was awesome. But I've had just a crap ton of fun with it, as is I think a lot of people. But I'm using, I feel like so far I'm using AI in the form it was meant to be, in my opinion. Like,
Hmm.
just great comedic relief at times. And,
Hmm.
of course, AI, there's a zillion different things you can use for it.
Yeah.
Um, but to put myself like, for example, I was sending these late nights to John, and
Yeah.
I was annoying the crap out of Jen last night too, and I was laughing, my ass off at it, and I could tell she was like, yeah, funny. But so for example, one of them, I was like, yeah, make because you do like a cameo of yourself.
Hmm.
And then you can select, there's privacy things where you can select that, you have your own name and image and likeness. You can set it where, it's public or
Hmm.
friends only, blah, blah, blah. But I set myself as a time traveler back to like the year 1800, and I said, have me walk around to asking people where the nearest Fuddruckers was. And, people that don't know Fuddruckers is, kind of like, I don't know, a burger joint,
Hmm.
had some arcade games back in the day. Some
Yeah.
of them have closed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, popular here back in, I don't know, the late 90s, I'd say
Yep.
in California. But I don't know, just saying that name is funny to me. And I'm like me walking around saying, they have Fuddruckers? Yeah, there's Fuddruckers. I thought that was hilarious. Did another one where I kind of pranked a Food Network show where
Mhm.
I brought a McDonald's meal and then they questioned me saying, oh, so you didn't make this? I'm like, no, 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 not at all. And
Yeah.
then and it was presented that way. I did a parody where I came up with an idea closely related to the Sham Wow, and the audience or the judges react in a way like I'm just copying the Sham Wow.
Yeah.
Had a rap about the Choco Taco leaving and how upset I was. Reenacted the Office Space scene of where those TPS reports are
Yeah.
at, and I was on there playing chess,
Yeah.
Tetris. But just all in all, John, just it's endless. Like
Yeah.
I had another one where I spilled nachos courtside,
Mm.
and they made me a big fatso though. Like
They did.
I'm a little chub scout, but like they made me 350, like big old fatty.
They made you look like The Rock in Central Intelligence, so pretty
Yeah,
much.
payback.
Yeah,
They know.
they heard that. They heard that.
They did. Yeah, they're like, oh, body shaming. You're
Yeah.
fat now, and hilarious though, and it's
Yeah.
crazy, how close it is to, what I am. I sent it. One of the clips, I think that was the Lambo dealership where I
Hmm.
lowball the price, and I sent that to my parents, and I don't know if they fully knew it was AI.
Oh,
I,
really?
they're like, yeah, Tim, your content's great. It's funny, and I'm like, but I just came up with the idea. I didn't make it though.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell them that yet. I got to have like a better discussion with them, but I just thought that was really funny.
You should have done another video where you were in a Lambo driving and then
Oh
sent them to
yeah.
that, and they would have been like, "Holy shit, he actually did buy a
Yeah, test driving. Which one? Yeah.
Lambo."
It'd be great. I should and see what the reaction is.
But I think that's something what's so crazy about Sora and just AI in general, that there's some things that some people will actually think is real, even though the
Mhm.
creators of it know it's fake. It looks surreal because I showed Vera some of them and she's like, "Did he really do this?" I was like, "No, this is AI, the WWE one." She's like,
Oh
"What
yeah.
the hell?" I was like, "Yeah, he
That's
didn't do this. This is AI generated based off his,
that'd be
likeness." And I
badass
was
if I
like,
would have though.
and I was like, that's how crazy AI is. And like I say, as a tool, the way we're using it as comedic, I think it's fun. I think that's what it's meant for. It's meant to be creative with it. But what it could do in the future, it actually, like I say, it's very scary. Can it take jobs in the future? Quite possibly. I think there still needs to be so many tweaks to it, but It's crazy. And then like some of the other videos I see of it, it's like it looks just crazy. There was this one on the Sora app because like I say I have it. I haven't done the cameo to sort of do my face. I've been trying to do pictures sort of try to figure out how to get that to work, but I doubt I will. They don't really allow the pictures to go
Hmm.
based off pictures. But some of the videos I saw, like this one guy that was getting arrested for eating two to three trays of all you can eat food, you know.
Oh yeah, those were
Yeah,
great. I saw
I
those.
don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
those. Like I
Yeah.
was just cracking up and I was like, that's something that someone might actually believe if they go to all you can eat. Like, oh, I got to be careful and not eat these tray, like a whole tray, because I will get arrested.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I saw one where what I think is really creative and funny, which I think that this is the concept where one person makes a video, but then the next person does a small edit to it and says, okay, this time make it Bigfoot. And then they'll say, oh, make it Bigfoot, but he's angry that he's getting kicked out. So he
Mhm.
goes into the kitchen and starts bathing in the frying oil. And then they said, make him the chef. And then somebody said, make him have a British accent.
Mhm.
And it just goes on and on and on. And they just kept getting funnier. I think somebody else did it with a child opening up Christmas presents. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, say he's opening up nothing. And the kid's all excited saying like, oh, look, I got nothing. It was a box that said nothing on it. Uh, and then another one said, oh, make him open up a stone. And it just said
Mm.
stone on it. But you name it. Like,
Yeah.
and they did it like looking like a VHS from the
Hmm.
mid 90s. And
Yeah.
it's crazy the possibilities.
Yeah.
One big topic you brought it up with, just the scary reality of a lot of it is that they kind of came under fire over the last like 48 hours about some of their copyright stuff, which is
Hmm.
why I learned because I was trying to figure out like, oh, why everybody's using SpongeBob, for
Hmm.
example, like how are they creating this? Like I keep getting flagged if I want to do, SpongeBob, serving me a
Hmm.
burger at the, Krusty Krab.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it anymore because of the copyright changes that they had to make because
Hmm.
people were doing, Kobe,
Hmm.
Tupac, who they were doing JFK. Evidently, people say you can do, fictional characters or people who have passed, but anybody who's alive, they say
Hmm.
it's like a,
No.
a, a no-go now, which makes total
Yeah.
sense unless that celebrity comes forward and signs off, which I think Jake Paul did, which is why you see a lot of Jake Paul in
Jake
these.
Paul stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, because like I said, yeah, I try to do a few things. It was like, no, this violates, our rules, and I'm like, oh shit, like, okay, how am I gonna get around it, and what can I do? Because like I said, I was trying to use pictures of like myself, Vera,
Mhm.
trying to just make videos, and it's just like, oh, we can't use, pictures like that. So I'm like, okay, like it's my picture, like why can't you if I'm giving you permission?
Right.
So it's sort of I think there's still a lot of kinks to work out, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to where AI has gone because I don't think I would have ever imagined this a few years ago when ChatGPT was around. The videos of how real they make things look and how creative they get for these quick videos. It's awesome how technology is, and like I say, some people may not like AI, but I think you have to learn to live with it and how to use it as a tool to help you be successful. Because I think it could be a great tool to help people succeed, but you have to use it right. If you use it wrong, it's gonna really hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's why I'm getting such a kick out of it because I feel like I'm using it in a way that is hilarious to me and very
Mhm.
like funny and time consuming.
Yeah.
Um, but like I have no my mind doesn't go crazy minus like like I did another video today of asking asking where I go in and interrupt the signing of the Declaration of Independence back in the 1700s and ask what the Wi-Fi password was. um just the looks
Oh,
of confusion. It's just hilarious.
that's
I didn't
funny.
post that one, but I thought it was a funny video.
That's crazy.
But again, it's it's even just to kind of just see
Hmm.
what it would create given a phrase.
Yeah.
Much like we experimented with ChatGPT. It also makes you think like, what else do we have behind the scenes? If this
Hmm.
is being released to the public, you got to think that this is maybe 10 years behind that, they have something else that could be newer and
Yeah.
greater. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, it's crazy. I think it's a great app, fun app to make fun videos, just comedic things. But like I say, it's gonna open up a door for AI to do a lot more in professions. Um, because like I say, even ChatGPT does so much with like pictures, designs, based off what's gonna be best for whatever you're asking it to do. So just those, like I say, it's crazy how a small prompt could develop a video so great and funny without
Hmm.
giving it much of, I need you to make it funny. Just make this video of XYZ and it does it. And it's
Yeah.
always, the end result's always a surprise and makes it fun.
Yeah, and in I feel like it's a good way to kind of like brainstorm topics and ideas too. Like say you do a skit, like we've done skits for our
Yeah.
pod here. It kind of plays it out and then you're like,
Mhm.
okay, that's a good idea. Like I can feed off
Yeah.
of that and bring that into our original content instead. That's kind of the tool I see it as. Besides
Mhm.
that, it's like it gets me laughs.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, if a paywall goes up, I'm like, all
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
that might be it.
Yeah, no,
Curtains.
yeah. I think you're like, all right, I'm limited to two a day, so I got to get creative of which two I want to
Yeah,
do.
exactly. Yeah. Evidently the
Yeah.
limit's 100 I read on Reddit.
Okay.
Which man, I felt like I was on there like 2 hours making 10.
Yeah.
I can't imagine making 100. That'd be
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, that'd be a little crazy, but I think what they're doing with that is they're giving that unlimitedness to sort of work out the kinks and just make perfect it.
Mhm.
Because like I say, once they perfect it, I think it's when they're gonna have that paywall and be like, all right, now you guys got to pay because thank you for doing all that work and we gave you a lot of free stuff, but now you can make a 2 minute video. You can make a longer video because right now, what is it, like 6, 7 seconds or something?
It's like a Vine. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
short.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I think eventually they'll have a paywall for the longer versions, but I think they're working out so many kinks based off what people are sending, what they're creating, what it's looking like, getting the feedback. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting to see where Sora goes in the next few months. Because like I said, ChatGPT, we were talking about it over a year ago, and let's see where this goes. And now it's huge.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen
Oh yeah.
overnight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Remember, treat AI nicely.
yeah,
Get on its good side because
yeah.
look how far it's come, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. When they take over the world, we talked about it. We want to be on the good side. We don't want to be the
Yes.
first ones to get eliminated by them. We want to be a tool for them because that means we're still living.
Absolutely. Yeah. We want a good role in
Yeah.
society.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want to be, stay relevant. Hopefully they'll let us keep the
Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
talk about them
Yeah.
nicely. And yeah,
We want to get that code to the bunker that they know secretly that only that they'll allow us in. So,
absolutely.
treat AI with respect. But yeah, enjoy it as a tool. I think it's a fun tool, an amazing tool. If you guys get a chance to try Sora, try it out. It's fun. I need to play around with it a little bit more and do that sort of cameo piece and see how it does my face. Because, for me, from a lot of what ChatGPT always makes me look a lot more foreign than what I am. It doesn't really make me look
Mm,
Hispanic. I always feel like I
sure.
look more like Middle Eastern, I think is like sort of what
Uh-huh.
ChatGPT makes me look based off just a picture. So I'm curious what Sora will do for me.
Yeah, Source seems a little bit more accurate in a sense.
Yeah.
But there's some videos that like, for example, the Food Network one, there's a lot of kinks to it that like it
Yeah.
didn't look that much like me, but
Uh,
there's other ones like
the,
the Tetris one that I felt like
uh,
super nailed it.
the WWE one looked really, really
Yeah, that one
accurate.
too. That one too.
That one,
Crazy.
other than your
Kind of fun.
weird ass smile it gave you like in the middle of
Yeah,
the video, that
yeah.
little smirk, I was like,
Halfway
what
through.
the
Yeah, it's so creepy.
hell? Yeah, but it was funny.
Yeah,
It's
just that.
funny. Eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, so but yeah, that's Sora AI. Give us your thoughts on AI. We're big AI fans, talk about it a lot. Any of these AI, developers, people want to give us access to it or just come talk to us a little bit more about it, how we could sort of enhance the use of AI and really make it as a benefit because you guys are the experts on it. We're just testing it and playing around and trying to find out how we could use it, but there's always tips and tricks that they have that could make
Mhm.
it just flow a lot better.
Totally. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I completely agree. You know,
Yeah.
we love to test out the product. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
We do. We do. The one we have to go back to is what is it, Somos or something? The
Yeah, with
music
the
one?
music. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
always one
We used
we
up our
got.
trial real fast.
Yeah, we did. So one thing,
Another good
it's
one.
it's paying for it, so it's a little tough, but yeah, that's a good one too. But yeah, that's all I really got for this week, Tim. Anything else come up?
Um, no, I think
Hmm.
that's the biggest stuff all around. I feel like we really covered it all.
Yeah.
Really stoked with, sports in general,
Hmm.
movies, great stuff.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun with AI, gaming, big
Yeah.
week of gaming coming
Big
up.
weekend gaming. Yeah.
Movies too. I think Tron's coming out.
Hmm.
Is it this
Thursday.
week?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thursday. Tron. Yeah, m movie releases are gonna start getting a little bit better coming end of October into November, December. So be
great.
on the lookout for some of those reviews, video games. Most likely we will have it this weekend. I gotta go back to sort of look if my capture card is working, and if it is, I'll try to do some streaming on Twitch. So our Twitches are also on our description, in the link in our description box here.
Mhm.
But yeah, check us out on Twitch. But yeah, as always, we're building something here with Banter on the Rocks. Appreciate everybody's listening to us, for the last year. If it's your first time, thank you. Please hit that subscribe button, join us weekly. Watch, hopefully you guys are enjoying our good laughs, the real talk, the unfiltered takes. And also follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, listen to us in your car. I know there's traffic everywhere, so you'll have the time to listen.
Mhm.
So join us.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, thank you so much. We love the feedback. A lot of great comments this past week. Feel like we get more and more every week, and that's, promising on our end, but we also
Mhm.
love to hear from you guys
Yeah,
and conversate and, just banter in general.
yeah,
So thank you
yeah,
guys so much and continue to listen. Appreciate the
yeah.
support.
Thank you, everybody, and have a great week. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.